Yeah, just like I said, you're in digestion, but they're still pretty good shape.
Good.
They're real active. Look at that.
Oh my God.
Look how they're moving.
That's
See
good.
all that triglycerides? That's why I make y'all fast.
Yeah.
Before.
Uh-huh.
And let's just kind of go around in here.
So, Doctor, which ones are the triglycerides?
All these white things.
The white things, and that's right after eating.
But see how active they are?
Yeah.
Moving. That's good.
So those are healthy blood cells, huh?
Yeah, they are.
How old are you, Horn?
78.
78.
Good night. So it's good. It's good blood for 78. There's a good white blood cells. Those are real good.
That's good in it.
But it's so bad I can't even see the blood, the triglyceride. It's amazing how much fat's in your blood after you eat.
Yeah.
Now that's got to find the home somewhere.
Yeah. Now, what is that back up there? What was this? What is that right there?
Oh, it's just a red cell dying.
Is it?
Yeah. I wish I could show you more without so much triglycerides.
Yeah. So those triglycerides have to find the home in the form of fat.
And you'll find it in fat if you don't burn it up.
Yeah.
But fat, all 100 trillion cells need fat. So, you know, that's trillions. So that's going to find the home. You know, if you got more than 100 trillion, then we got problems.
Yeah.
Well, this afternoon we've run down Dr. Dick Couey, and he is the retired biochemist from Baylor. And Dr. Couey, would you give us a little bit of bio about yourself, please?
Well, I've taught at Baylor University for 38 years as a physiologist in organic chemistry, which is biochemistry. And I've talked to the medical students at Baylor. And I really had a lot of fun with those young, smart kids. I just think the world of them.
I noticed that we just had on film a little bit, you've just taken a slide of Homer's blood.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have it here on the computer. Can you tell us a little bit about what we're looking at?
Well, in the human body, you have about 100 trillion red blood cells because it's the most numerous cell in the body. You have about 100 trillion cells, you've got about 25 trillion red blood cells because every red blood cell must carry oxygen to the cell to produce energy. So what I've done is I've pricked Homer's finger, and we can see red blood cells here, but the problem is Homer just got through eating and he's got a high triglyceride level because his body's in digestion. So these red blood cells carry oxygen to the cells. You have white blood cells in there that protect you against poisons and protect you against allergens and antigens and things, bacteria. So you have those in there. The blood, you may have heard, is your lifeline. And if anything goes wrong with you, we can see it in your blood in most cases. So I've been studying the human body for, like I say, about 50 years, I guess. I've really enjoyed learning all about this. If you can see up here, you can see how it should be right here. These are red blood cells, and the background is clean. And these are thick. People who have thick red blood cells have a lot of hemoglobin, a lot of oxygen, and so consequently that happens to be a world class, holds 2 world records in running for Baylor. So that's it. Sometimes they stick together, sometimes they link and aggregate. That means you're having trouble breaking up protein real good. Up here, if I see this is called spicules. And these spicules represent to me severe stress. And everybody that's really sick, like bad disease like cancer or diabetes or fibromyalgia and things of this nature, they usually have those spicules. Your thrombocytes is your platelets sticking. Now, if they stick together, obviously they'll block blood vessels and you could have a heart attack or you could have a stroke. That's dangerous. Over here is your triglycerides. This is really high. This one's 300, this one's 1200. So Homer just got through eating, and so his is close to 1,000 right here, 800, because we can't even hardly see the white cells, I mean the red cells behind it. Then we got things like bacteria, we got allergens, we got a lot of crystals in many of the arthritic patients, and then the plaque that clogs up the arteries. We have different type of white blood cells. It's really one of the most fascinating things that I can see. And when we put people on good pH water, we put them on digestive enzymes or protease enzymes, and they eat the correct food, they'll all come back looking about like this. They're spread out, the background's clean, there's nothing in it, and they're real thick if they exercise. So what I do is I like to put people on these and watch them get better with inflammation. And that's the key, I think, is to make them feel better.
This water from the Dead Sea area of Israel, how does it differ from this water on the shelves here in the tap water that we drink?
Well, compared to tap water and most of the waters here, it's a naturally occurring pH. The pH of that water I've tested ranged from 7.67 to 7.8. pH is critical because the pH of the human cell is 7.4. And if it just drops to 7.2, your enzymes are affected and it keeps the chemistry out of balance, and you start getting medical problems. If it drops to 7.2 or below, I recommend that you get an MRI because I think you got cancer, because every cancer cell I've ever tested has been acidic. And so if you drink this water at 7.6, that makes the environment around the cell an alkaline solution, and then when it goes into the cell, there it will add to the pH of the cell, and this will protect you against things like cancer. All my cancer patients are drinking water over 7.4 because we got to get that environment around that cell to be more of an alkaline situation.
Tell what is the percentage of water in our cells and in our body?
The percentage differs as we age. When we're born, we have about 80% of our body is water. So that's why little baby's so soft and you love to kiss on babies. I do anyway. So as you get older though, you lose your water. And when you get to be in the 60s, 70s, and even 80s, probably 60% of your body is water. So I really believe if we'll keep our percentage of water up in our bodies, we can live a longer and a more healthful life, because water is very important in flushing out the waste that's in your cell that accumulates in there. We call that lipofuscin. I know that's a big word, but it's made out of fat. If you have 100,000 chemical reactions a second, which the cell does, you're going to have waste built up. And me and my colleagues believe if we can keep this waste out of your cell, we could add 15 quality years to your life expectancy. Now, to me, I think that's worth it.
Mm-hmm.
So the water gets in there and flushes it out, you see.
But it also, the water that you're saying of this 60 or 70% of our body that encircles these cells, and a cancer cell then can't operate or live in the if that is alkaline water system in your body. Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying that you can neutralize the acidity in the cancer cell, and so it won't metastasize. because around the cells, so you have cells that kind of stick together, not stick together, but they're different.
Mm-hmm.
But in between, you have collagen. It's kind of like a cement that holds cells together. You see, but if it gets if it gets acid from that cancer cell, it will eat the environment up around that cell, and it will break the cell loose, and the cancer will spread. You know, that's why I always make my cancer patients drink alkaline water.
And this has a natural, when you say the difference between a natural alkaline water and water that they make here or they add the alkaline to
well,
the
they add the alkaline to it, like a baking soda. Or I recommend if you're eating out and you don't have good water, put lemon in it. It'll make even though lemon's an acid, it has a lot of sodium and potassium in it, and it changes to hydroxide, which is a base. And so that's what I recommend to people when they go out to eat.
You're talking about a lot of waste. Talk about these negative ions and how this water is so...
Well, what's so important is the ions that are in there. You have 3 different ions. You have potassium, you have magnesium, and you have bicarbonates inside the cell. Okay? And you have outside the cell, you have sodium, chloride, and phosphates. And these are called the electrolytes. And for anything to go in the cell, they got to exchange. These ions exchange from negative to positive. And that causes a flow of substances in and out the cell. This water is full of those ions. And that's what keeps the thing moving between in and out of the cell, is these positive and negative ions.
And that's what, so when you drink and your kidneys are flushing, you're filtering your blood, and you drink this water with the correct ions in it, is they get that trash.
It gets the trash.
When you go urinate, you're passing that
you
trash.
get through the urea, yeah, that's right, the urine.
Well, in wrapping up here, we want to thank you for your time, but I would like for you to kind of tell us, over all the years you've been looking at slides, and you've written, how many books have you written on this cell?
I think it's 30.
30 books on the human cell.
It's in the ball. It's on the first page right there.
Have you ever seen a water that will compare with this?
Well, I haven't, and I've checked them all out. I do like Evermore water because it's really high, and that's only for severe cancer people. But I like this water the best. It's natural, it's got the ions, and I think, I'm a Christian, and I think Jesus drinks this water. So, if it's good enough for him, it's good enough for me.
A worldwide distribution of this water, that would be pretty radical. But what kind of effect would it have on the European countries where pure water doesn't exist for most of the people? This would have quite an effect on a worldwide distribution basis, would it not?
Yeah, every cell in your human body is improved by this water. And just think of all the people that don't get this kind of water, and what all the toxicities in the water and all this other things in there. And I mean, their health would be improved significantly. Their life expectancy would be improved tremendously if everybody had good water.
Well, Doctor, thank you for your time, and we appreciate it.
Okay.